All right, we are live. So thank you, Alakiir, for joining today, and thank you, wonderful people, for joining the U10 show. If you are new to this platform, we say welcome to the U10. This platform is dedicated to empowering our communities through impactful stories, impactful conversations, and impactful resources here, which are available both in Dinka and in English. So today is actually impactful conversation that will be led by one of our co-hosts. You all know Alakiir. Alakiir Dengako. Hello, Alakiir. Yeah, thanks for joining today as a special guest to talk about a special topic that not many of us, reflect on it every day in our daily life. But this is a very important topic of self-awareness. So, Alakiir, I know I don't want to take the shine away. This is the area of your passion, this area you have been thinking since last year. This was your new year resolution, by the way. We wanted to talk about self-awareness from the beginning in January. Thank God we made it in April. So thank you, those who have joined us. We're going to Ben, we took a Lord, we took a welcome. And Alakira, I don't know Baralwell or by your topic directly, but take it away. This is your day to teach us what this self awareness is, and how it can help us in our daily lives. So take it away.
Thank you, Akwalakur. Growing up, I used to believe I am a very quiet person. I would never speak in front of people. I used to go to church, and for most people who went to church a lot, they know there's different roles for the youth to contribute to the church. So this was my role. I used to do the sweeping of the compound, sweeping of the church, and then when comes time for worshiping, I would sit in the back and just sing along as people go. Many people in my age group used to akup. They used to take akup to the front, and it's everyone sitting in the back and watching you go in the front, take akup, and pass it around. Koika aga ilu achiyik. Achiyik, you sit right next to Koika Lord. For the longest time, I did not believe that's a place for me in front of the people at the stage to be Naranabin being thing, because I believe things people tell me about myself, and I thought that was who I am. Well, you will find out that's not who I am. Akwalakur can tell you that. I talk a lot. And I talk in front of people. I do go on the stage and talk. So, today we're going to talk about self awareness. Self awareness and knowing who you are is crucial for your self reliance, for your growth, for doing whatever you've put in your mind to do. Let's talk about this year. At the beginning of the year, what are some of the goals that you set aside to do? We already passed first quarter. Again, it's second quarter and it's April. Please look at your goals. What have you achieved? What have you not achieved this year? And in terms of self awareness and knowing who you are, you are not words you say. That's your perspective. You are not the clothes you wear. That's not who you are. That's just covering your nakedness. You are not what people say you are. So, in this journey, please stay with me and learn as we go, because self awareness is a very long journey. And if you haven't started yet, we're going to start slow. If you already started as a person who's self aware, we also have a space for you to explore and go deeper. So, I call this unlocking your inner compass, the power of self-awareness. Na iran un chiron ngi kin bi ka ju cha bi ni ai we queer lainten. You will pick up things, trends, I don't know, and think that's who you are, but it's in. So in the end, na can I read a lot about life with then the key takeaway is your self-awareness include understanding your values, your strengths, your interests, and your emotional patterns. It's the foundation of making fulfilling and effective career and personal decisions at every stage. What you can do is continuously reflect on who you are and what truly matters to you to start your journey with intention, not just going with the flow, because the flow of which lay in thin. Okay? So we'll start from the top. What is self awareness? And kidnapping it you cool what self awareness is. If you never heard of the term, it's like having an inner compass. It helps you understand your value, beliefs, emotion, and how you impact the world around you. How you come to the world. Um, it's about knowing your strengths and areas of growth without judgment. You cannot judge yourself. Walwel walai wari kia chicken aloy wan kin kan aloy. That's too harsh. It is the foundation of making conscious choices and building genuine self-reliance. Genuine self-reliance. Nana deku chirot geira and then you know you're going to be alright. That's what self awareness is. And it's the first step of understanding who you are and who you want to become. So you don't fall victim to what people say about you. I remember a time when, before I lost my legion commit, chan kay lose, uh, akagera heritage. And I remember that's before I was 7. But Luis Makale ko je mehanungu lejaya rabi cherming. Those I took them personal. I mean, anything. They even told me, and I can hear it. Yung ilay rabi cheerming. Now I stop smiling. I smile less. I stop interacting because people I associate smiling kind of negativity, and I don't want to be the person to me. So my little self believe that Kia Kailwell is real, especially older people than you, and I'm gonna become deaf if I keep smiling. It took a long time to undo that pattern of thinking and making dimming your my own shine just to make people feel comfortable. It wasn't something wrong that I did, but those comments really got to me. So yeah. And then how do you go about this one? First thing is to start with a reflection. Sit down. How did I feel today? At the end of the day, the check call judgewal. Check in with yourself. How did I feel? Your emotion. Banyuch kubarati, how did I feel today? Did I feel great? You cool chilot, cool chidik, already you cool bagar when you boomed in a journaling that it's an amazing day. And then why did I feel that way? For me, one of these days I got a perfect score in a test and I felt amazing. I was going for a walk, I had a little bounce in my step. I'm like, why am I feeling this way? Because I feel accomplished. It's one of the goals that I set at the beginning of the year and it's aligning with what I want to do this year. And getting that perfect score in the test affirmed the belief in myself that I can learn this thing. I don't like the numbers, but I am learning them and it's getting there. Number two is to pay attention to your emotions. Uh, Reflect on a time, you've talked to someone and you left the conversation feeling very irritated. Like, you need to sit down and think, why am I feeling like that? I'll give an example. One time I got a phone call, and after that phone call, I did not anticipate I'll go into um, uncomfortable conversation with a person on the phone. So when the phone ended, I had to really check in with myself. Usually they don't get to me like that. Why did I react like this today? And for women, it's really good to reflect a lot because you are not the same person throughout the month. When I looked at my phone, I found out that my period is coming in 2 days. And that's the window that I get really irritated. So moving forward, in certain dates in the month, I don't pick up the phone if I know that conversation is going to rile me up and get me angry because I don't like being an angry person. So, learning to be attuned to your emotions and thinking outside of whatever the situation is in the moment will really shed the light. Maybe they said something really messed up, but would I react the same way in a different setting if I wasn't in a PMS? Maybe not. Number three is if you really don't know how to reflect, Nachi, reflect. You don't even remember what happened 2 minutes ago. Ask your friends. One time I talked to Rhoda. Well, what are my strengths and weakness? And this takes bravery. Don't go asking questions you're not ready to hear answers because when people tell you your weakness, you have to be strong enough to know that's not who you are. Again, what people say is not who you are. It is a feedback for you to work on. This was an exercise from school. I ended up going to business school and having to do presentations every single week until I finished the degree. So when I talked to Rhoda and she told me my strength and told me my weakness, I had to sit with her and be like, oh, so I'm not really showing people who I am. If this is a weakness, how can I stop being weak in this area? Or how can I use that weakness to my advantage? Um, that's another way. Ask people you hang out with a lot to give you feedback. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I've heard people say this about me. Do you think it's true? They will give you a proper reality check. Bangi, that is true or not. Number four is listen to yourself. Literally sit down, turn off your phone, turn off the music, and close your eyes or keep your gaze in a single place and listen to your thoughts as they go. You have this internal monologue going on every single day, whether you're awake or asleep or cooking or listening to music. Your thoughts are talking to you, and what they are saying to you sometimes it can be healthy, it cannot be healthy. So you need to sit down and listen to those thoughts and recognize the pattern. If your thoughts are coming up, say for 2 days in a row, you're thinking about how much of a failure you are, you need to sit down and listen to those thoughts. Why is my inner voice telling me I'm a failure? Recognize this pattern. And coming back to the PMS, whenever the period is 2 or 3 days away, I always feel like the world is the worst place. I am the victim. People hate me. And then 2 days later, I'm like, oh, it's just the hormones. That's not who I am. So listening to those thoughts and reflecting back on those thoughts really does help you identify where the problem is coming from. And the last one, but not least, is staying curious about yourself. And staying curious is keeping learning as the goal, because you don't truly know who you are. And maybe 2 months later I will stop talking in front of people because I've learned something and I've changed. Allow yourself to change and be kind to yourself. We beat ourselves up a lot. Oh, I can't loyal. Oh, I can't ting. Oh, that conversation really went messed up. Blah 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 blah. I was recently having a conversation with a few colleagues, and they were commenting on, oh, you must have been really good at English for you to go to University of British Columbia. And I'm out of reaction, being like, oh, you know what? Kenya was colonized by the British people, and the language of instruction is English. So I don't find it surprising that I know English. It was sarcastic, that's for sure. But reacting to them in that way wasn't really from a conversation point of view. I was just being like, oh, you think I wouldn't know English? ABCD happened. I was triggered and I responded by reacting to that person. Um, so staying curious and finding where that came from. Maybe that day I went on social media and read something about colonization. Now I'm in this mode of trying to lash out onto people. So after going through that exercise, eventually what you want to do is identify your strength. Focus on what you're good at. Focus on your strength. And if you focus on your strength, you can really use that for the good. And strength reinforces your confidence. So what do people usually compliment you on? You're quite like in what way? A little bit way you are really good at giving advice. Maybe you should be a coach. Maybe you should be a leader. If people say, oh, you're really good at dancing, Lori Jean, maybe you should start your YouTube channel or TikTok and get the money out of dancing. Don't dance for free. And then you can also find out what your values are. If you have a conversation with someone and you found out they were not kind or honest, or you find people who are not independent and always trying to lean on others, triggering to you, it means your values are honesty, kindness, creativity, and independence. And honestly, I'm talking about saying what you're going to do and actually doing it. So it's a matter of principle. Now, lwel kina kar ba loye run kina kwa chi loy, you are not being honest with yourself. Akor kubara le yit kudura appear. People out here lying to themselves, I am this and doing, saying they are A and doing B. Please make them align. You are confusing everyone. Um, so I tell you, if you understand your strength and they align with your action, and your values will help you lead your life with purpose and self assurance. Tana in and take it one day at a time. And you don't know what the purpose is, what you're contributing to the world. Then that is not a way to live. So I ran Pinkerton, and you have a pen and paper or a phone. Go to your note app and write two or three strengths. Like, what is your strength? What does people compliment you on? What do you think you really do well? Na yetata pet chun met yin che cham chun ran den gadapin. I'm really good at cooking. I could never eat poorly cooked food. Write it down. Write one to two of your core values. Na iran when chi yen well way to ngong kanyin, or when people are suffering you cannot look the other way. You are a kind and generous person. Write it down. I'm kind and generous. My values are kindness and generosity. My values are honesty. My values are creativity. Garikapin. Garikapin. Nachigat. Take a voice recorder and record them. Say it out loud. That way you are telling yourself, and that way you can actually know what um what what is um what is your value. And then reflect. How do these things show up in your life day to day? How do you practice honesty? How do you practice kindness in your day to day? Is this value showing up in your practices? You need to understand that. So Airan Pelu join Mantio. We are talking about self-awareness and getting to know yourself as a foundation of self-reliance, growth, and leading your life with purpose. Thank you for joining. So I've talked a lot up to this point. I will invite Akwal to reflect on understanding emotions and reaction. Rhoda, can you tell us about a time you actually understood an emotion, and if you reacted to a situation, tell us about that. How did you understand after the fact that you were reacting?
Thank you, Alakiir. And you can very much time card by share. I can go to the card by share when it comes to emotional reaction. And we're copying look at this video share different from videos on you got a lawyer webinar style and more focus on education and awareness through education. So self-awareness is very important. Chala kira chi goal, you know that time ko idea, you know, I know Rurana government can, but ko idea and the man in world we react from place of of vulnerability. A normal reaction. The chala kira chi well win before PMS non ko non ko ku chien PMS the man ben menstrual period ben get the irritated, right? So you go why parent sometimes parent. So quite now and now PM tang dan the value react high to men because not because you know create what, but because I'm not kind the hormones in my body they're hosting a party. So kira ki really you know everything can end because yeah, that one anything eh to rio ku cha ari ai te ku lo sound de no mo le da lo I kan when yo chen sound de I hear it today. La rer ka ri ku we ka lo chi na we la yi. Esa one go chen today. But of course, ka you go kweni. I remember by the tour ku ba do presentation to it like ir you know when I was taking a course on gender studies, a social policy course. I was taking gender studies and can you young dear Pinomban and in the past. And we were learning about the care chain. So this care chain you should you see workforce their participation their workforce will increase like their own but I think the are nice now they are understanding women that they are supporting women at home It's because, they are finding creative ways so that they can manage home duties, kujaya work, kujaya school, kungu, kungu kuna ja reflect in the context of our community, of our country, or the background band thing. Where you for sure area, the money they have been one taught na and jam the back home because you want a community of support. I am fine, you had which is one the mutual because school lumi drop su kulit kwa bula te loy abla bena la abu mi be bi jo bu ga be bu wa kwa lo ka tet ku to chin ku ngo bi ku mo me bi lu lo kero o na ti lo to ku nu ku ta man ken ben ba ga che bru ken mi dor to nye be bu long be dai tv because culturally most root bi ke ken ga pure to take care of home and children. So kujata ki kwenda man and planning party agata ki and kan jo rujite ne and kwen masters ku boy dia masters kwen kwale mien kabla du wana ton ku mit ku ngo tom dam. So na dia yo my honey la sweetheart go sweet go chem ya. You're gonna be that much right? Because kaka ko kwen ku je ari put it at young and now number of fresh because I just watching that a muscular, right? Because that is what I see going into it. Anyway, right now we are supporting each other. Why find that yeah, okay, book man, book put back to sleep or book question and book support. They are very supportive. There are many men who are supportive. I die for their bad. I can point because I think community they are one coin coin. But system they are going root. Ki an kan lu dina lakit in self awareness. So I can very realize and chimonya call there's something can notice. Na no cause na chala cause which I put paper about it can you no we are fresh and very scientist. Pattern actually you. So were you well okay get true, right? And then the other pattern I can realize well then get true because they are triggered. It's just like well on social media you live video on something and you relate and then now who will be a part of you. Who can it happen in our community where social media is very toxic and negative go around when are toxic and negative. That's where we actually end up creating a U-turn so that bugu part of social media bugu be cleanse so that na no ko ben in jila ping ke negative then we are ping U-turn kin be no be wa and a lot by ala in jila in jima chat when jawo ti bala jar pandu or bala jar no friends who or bala jar so can a part of self awareness when you need that there is something that kita consume kita ping kita queen or what you are going through internally begin effect on how to relate with other people, how to relate with your loved one. That one is very important. And now I can need that the man dear PMS can you the man and go how we could enter in bad mood this week. Now I know God can end, they know how to navigate the conversation can or issues. Now when they know that I the man the entire no being taking care more of me, giving me more time so that I go out well for self-care and other things. Because we need that this is the time that we need help, and that is the important Alakiir awareness of our own emotions and how they transfer to different locations. I hope your question is answered. And I hope Nanora and intentionally the story they share how you will react to emotion based on tinyirot kujea te later something. Thank you, Paranya dot kujea angat makoy ja kuru ja ko da yor so di we chakle comment ko na chake so Alakiir back to you Jain answer.
Yes, yes, perfectly, perfectly. Thank you so much, Akwalkur. And that's the power of being attuned to your emotion. You had to actually sit back, and you had to be open-minded to listen to your partner. But like yin, something is wrong somewhere, and something is wrong is that you're reading something and you're taking it personal and using that to react to situations around you. And being aware, like I know period is considered as taboo, but it really is not. It's just women body are built to give life. You are built to give life. And we've learned from science that if you fail to get pregnant, you're going to get a period. So when you are at home, try and educate your brothers, your sisters, and tell them exactly. It might feel like, oh, bajala ko janing period. No, tell them. Say, hey, I have period, and you might not want to try me this week because you will get the smoke. Like, tune and Jim Kakula Ruru because Tonga. Okay? So that way, they know how to navigate conversation with you. They know how to show up for you. That they will take good care of you. They will maybe try and make your day a little bit better. Because trust me, it's not easy. Going through this every single month, I feel like we don't give it enough time to talk about it. But Rhoda highlighted a very good other things that can contribute to emotions to be triggered, and that is what we read, what you consume. It's part of your diet, like what you take in into your body, food, literature. It's literally part of your diet, and it's going to affect your internal system. Were you a calm, subtle person and you go read about oppression, now you're angry in real life, and you might lash out to people who are not even suspecting you. They know you're a good person, you are kind, but this one conversation went really, really bad. So learning to differentiate reality and what is not real. Reality, in my opinion, is what is affecting you directly. Kitchen will affect directly on your day to day. It's not your reality. Let be a reality running, and there's a way to show up for them without reacting, going online, calling people names. Being like even write it in a paper. Write a book. Benefit from your, I don't know, injustice you think that you'll in your life. Just write a book and publish it. People will pay to go read it. Don't give it away for free online in Kabbalah. So being self-aware then will help you respond thoughtfully. Now, reflecting back to that conversation about somebody genuinely thinking they're complimenting how I know English and me reacting out of anger to what happened in the past. If that conversation comes up again, I will remember because I've reflected. My brain knows, okay, last time the way you handle conversation was really from a reaction point and perspective. How will you handle it differently? So if that conversation goes down again, and we know it happened a lot, um, I might you know, speak in a calm tone, explain to them that, yes, I know English because I've been learning it since I was 3. And then if they ask more questions, then go on and say, hey, there was colonization, and that's how half of the world ended up speaking this language. And then this is part of your journey of being emotionally literate. It's an aspect of being self-reliant. Nangi road kinchi be kaya kaya galay na chin gabiya will react to it because that's not who you are. A lot of rumors are low, and how you react to those rumors will demonstrate if you actually believe what they say or if you don't believe what they say. Try and around and say, oh, yang now, if you actually believe what they're saying is true, Kalibajalu acknowledge and actually give it a power and give it your words. Again, Achilu acknowledge and you know who you are, what they're saying, it's complete BS. You go about your day laughing and be like, people actually have time to think about me. What a compliment. Like, you let me take space in your brain. You have no better things to do. Go on and think about me. It's not going to affect your day, literally. So that's why it's important to understand your emotions and reactions. Next slide. So I said in the beginning that the key takeaways are understanding your values, strength, interest, and emotional patterns. So we've done a exercise. If you're just joining us, the exercise is you need to take a moment, write down 2 or 3 key strengths you have, and key strengths are from your reflection. Yung reflect on that you're really good at. What are things people say you're really good at? Write it down. Some people will tell you you're really good at giving advice. Some people will tell you your sense of fashion is very inspiring. It makes me want to dress up better. Write it down. Um, and then you can write 1 to 2 of your core values. Core values are the guiding principles of your life. And then reflect on how they show up in your day to day. Like, If my core value is, let's say I'm a person who want to support women, my day to day will look like I'll try and seek relationship where I can add value to women. That is supporting women. I will find time in my week. On Saturday, I'll come on U-turn. I'll come up talk about mentorship. That's me supporting women. Doesn't mean U-turn is not for everyone, but our primary audience are women, and I'll educate them. That is my core value. Passionate about supporting women, and this shows up in my weekly by doing this. So you have to connect an action with a value. Value with no action is not who you are. You're not being honest with yourself, and you need to reassess and see your values. And then, so you need to connect action, value, and results. What is happening? Is this working? You need to evaluate. Okay, and then we said it's a continuous effort. Talk. Tell Willenia, I used to believe I'm not the person to talk in front of people. Now I go and talk in front of people. And maybe 2 years down the line, I'll be a person who said, talking in front of people is not who I am. It just makes me very nervous, and that is too much to handle. That is okay. You need to be kind enough to and flexible to accept different stage of your life, go for different parts of you to shine. Okay, so that's where it is. And yeah, two things we're gonna apply the self-awareness is building a career and building relationships. Building a career that gives you purpose and building relationships that are fulfilling in your life is a game changer. And also your personal growth. Personal growth, I split into professional and personal. Personal is a relationship with others. Professional is what you want to do with your life, how you want to show up and impact the world. So we're going to get into that. One second. Let's start with the career stage. Rhoda, take us through your journey. How did you end up doing what you do now? And when did you first become aware of your career aspirations and why you chose your career path?
Thank you, thank you. Just be honest, Alakiir. Well, how did you end up being on the Facebook now? You turn comedian.
Kalas quiz. Why are you on Facebook?
Yeah, so thank you. And Kur Unique, you later read Kur Unique is appreciating you, Alakir, for a great presentation. So how I end up being a Facebook comedian on the U-turn? A good question. So and personally, when I finished my high school, I wanted to be a lawyer, because lawyer and jammer on foreign and get it here. Actually, it's supposed by an artist or by a lawyer. In get it here in here. And Kiri Karban and our lawyer is because the suffering later work in the refugee camp. He Magali, he knew could book baby nothing a new side. Like life was so hard, and I used to think so deep kind of mess. Could y'all really be mushaklat and Allah akabaga soup. So and my dad is very encouraging. Now I think and can jam about suing people who just refugees that represent but as I grow older, uh, and apply for finish my high school, but yeah, in Canada, I can look for two things. But be a lawyer now thinking it's better because I wrote a dialogue every year. I don't want singing. I feel like Jawal, if we are all of yours, go, Kajala, no.
I'm so
Dialogue,
sorry.
this I say, go, Kajala, day.
It's not too late. You just need to get a voice coach, and you can still get back.
Exactly, right? So I
Uh,
think day, I like, here, dear boy, you're going to have to and we said that I bully at you can't worry I get it. Long say yeah go you can have your value and yeah let have Canada and below and open low. And computer science, by that time, my brother was doing computer science. So we were okay on computer science below. The actual science, I did chopping here. Now, yeah, then, book your low, but I don't know, easy. You know, direct from high school to low. You have to do another degree, better, another certification. It's all else. Would you better be doing a long process by time, but not still get a hand, you know, where go go learn below direct and technology and get to learn to learn life to learn change. So I think technology but computer science law and because I law one that you want more law you are level law that so I took that course. So what I'm trying to drive here, professionally and it's self-aware. I'm just tiger kita pinggan ya kepiat one good thing below it and be your thing, but I kind of natural at that time. So computer because I like because I'm on technical skill because I book Turkana girls and in my high school in kakuma in computers. High school adwar computer lab kata computer lab tu. Kwana ngai aku computer asa de kan ke pi kai the tem ken ko la tina la chir mo se ken ko chi wa kon be wan bi ko ja la fi ke chok ku la ku je computer ka ke wan ka ke di ke ka computer to no use for 1 hour so I didn't even enjoy that experience so I didn't end up doing a computer in high school so I came Canada kind of computer illiterate kulwel ba lo computer science na jala si jala you can ko ko ni ne ki do de no coding aka len en jaya go iri era chen I took courses. I'm a fighter. I will do it. And if my brother can do it, I can do it. Then juniors are do come and care. And the job was in 8 hours because it's in my area of gifting, it's my area of passion, when I was just doing it so hard, and I can't knowledge about it, and it was very hard, but I did it. And then I decided about marketing and business because I read there was a program that combined at South I showed bucks, computer science for business school. I think business school actually came I have good kind of my personality. So until a business school, go I just personality test I think go little awareness about my personality because it's your question. How do you respond to this situation? Can you always the way I know? Go actually while I use that and a social person and a positive person and more about restoration, the youth and everything. Go and get some perspective. And then you want to mentor the chan bela pinka lo presentation ka ko on ke refugees ku je SCE who's well actually are quality good long jam in perfect. You are more in educational part of thing, more in advocacy, more in change, driving change than in coding. Oh, boko job connect and a staff assessment in Jalo go we make sense. I like it. Then get it jam from technology to focus more on business and public policy and job or public policy. You can get a maybe a law organization working work out you can talk to money see every naturally. Now I realize knowing myself from my own self-assessment and what I heard from other people, chanting, carrying myself around, it makes them go jam kula jam too. Well, okay, jam di na nang tut kede ko yen jam jayen aban ata tut jam aban we are online comedian. I have a question to answer. How I use self-awareness to help me and in my career. Now my career is very effective. I'm in university, which is related to education, which is the area of my passion, my giving, and something that is easy for me because and get to realize kind my own unique skills and interests and abilities. So thank you for that question. I hope Jayin answered.
Yes, amazing, amazing. And I like how you highlight going with the trend. You found out doing computer is cool. Nothing. Business school in Boo Bay after Chilu graduate. Nothing. I'm not sure if you really worked in business after Chilu graduate. But personally, going to business school was one of the best decisions in my life. I started Naira and Wintwing. I started by sharing how I was believing what people tell me that oh, she's very shy, she's not there in the public. And I would take these roles and actually take it serious and take the role of being in the back. It's not a bad thing to lead from the back, but I could have been more involved and shown up in a different way if I hadn't taken what people say about me as who I am. So, upon further reflection and forcing myself, so I took the personality test, Aqua, and this is another way to look at it. I all of what I think about myself was affirm, quiet. Maybe you should do something in mathematics where you spend time with the number and the computer. But guess what I did? Marketing. Marketing is anything but spending time by yourself. You have to be out there talking to people, expressing yourself. And that was one of the most nerve-wracking thing for me. Presentation every week, working on group assignments, learning the culture, like culture as in how things are done. I remember sitting in class and the professor has a slide up with logos on it. We're talking about branding, and she's testing us if you can recognize a brand from a logo. Now, me and my humble self from Kakuma, I have never seen a logo for Mercedes Benz. I have never seen a logo for Jaguar. Like they put all these logos on. I know Facebook because I was always on Facebook, and it's just an F. So everybody's raising their hand, saying, "Oh, this is this brand. This is Lululemon. This is that. This is that." And my entire decision making flashed before my eye. I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Why am I sitting here taking marketing when I cannot even name the brands on the on the board? So I took the personality test as a way of saying, you know what? Being quiet, reserved is not going to serve me in this society where talking about yourself it will take you further than uh, waiting for other people to talk about you, which is the culture I grew up in. So making that transition from culture of you don't talk about yourself, you're humble, you do your thing and people will recognize you, to a culture where it's me, 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 I do this, I'm amazing, I am great, I am this. It's like moving from South Sudan to Nigeria. You will not survive if you wait for people to recognize you. You have to self advocate and say, oh, I'm amazing, I am successful, I am great. Like that's how they roll. So, um, when I took the marketing, now looking back, it was like a big, long 4 years course of um, studying and integrating into the Canadian culture. I got to understand why Kawaja do the things the way they do. I got to understand the bottom line. Bottom line is money. Nobody cares about you. If they're being nice to you, they want your money or your time. Period. Nothing else. They don't want anything else from you. You think they like you? No, they just want your money. And that has changed the way I look at things. That has changed the way I prioritize things in my life. It has changed the way I present myself and the way I actually believe who I am, or it's evolving, it's not there yet. But that's where self awareness served me. In the moment, looked like a really bad decision. But looking back, I'm like, now I know. When I see 70% off, you save $10, but you have to pay $15. That doesn't make sense. How do you save $10 by paying $15? So understanding the language will really save you. Greet the kunka dicha chika budon be ichin if you understand what that really means. And I'm grateful for going to marketing. So going back to story call, if you're not self-aware, you will just go into doing things that are popular. You'll choose a career path that is perceived as high paying, like paying a lot of money to go to business school, but not actually working in a business or starting a business. If you consider your genuine interest and abilities, what you have a strength in, what people say you are good at. Aqual met her mentor, and the mentor's like, girl, you're wasting your time. Go to public policy change. And she did not struggle a day in her life while pursuing masters. I'm pretty sure the undergrad was way too hard than the master's degree. And I want to take it further. Recently, Rhoda enrolled in a PhD program. This might not be what she envisioned herself doing, as a PhD, but I'm gonna let her talk about that. How did you end up choosing the PhD you are doing, Rhoda, and what would you, the 10-year-old, think about this decision?
Alakiir chan we charge our PhD and we're part of self-awareness and anti quite you chacha ga tinke diet and I can't value shout out chol den queer for well at out is talking supporting this conversation a lot. I also see Comrade Manyong there in chu welcome. Kuje ya ban dun lang de ngit na chan ye du rango ya do ping in ban go bore ya when I joined those conversations. So thank you all for joining, and of course Ruben Panchol is always here. Nyale can wait. Thanks for joining this conversation on self-awareness. It's very important to me. I know culture then jim ko question ba answer dala yin ti ate question bitu ina laki my question there about how to baku ja answer ba jala answer dala. So culture then jim but on ye ku barata alwel I frown upon you know ko pe ke ka ni more than even yourself yen ke ja pia na man jala ko le era ni that is good that yen get ben akora ja multi right now ki yi ko le yen ka yi ja wa an ran ni le an ran lo an a good ngadi dit or an ran ni le those big things and now they are being exploited. I read na jamu context South Sudan man e kana ke chol ko when banya yi ke ja ayi ke nyan chok to English achanye because e culture an ajaran pick up ka jeran wel yen ye tande kan lo wala in zol ke bir boss mukubwa e ja mix and marry all those big terminologies e ka je ko ke that is who they are, but that is not right. I can learn a perspective what people think about you or what they think you will like so that they get what they want are manipulative terms, and those things work in the context then terroir self-awareness it kind of center I maybe Chinese maybe by one call be educator be ben you tell people how do self-awareness to ye but can you to but self-awareness by in the rot and in the rat barat all about you individualistic, but they don't go to the deeper meanings of knowing your emotions, your feelings, your thought process, and everything about your inner world, not outside. But yeah, but so how do you we now mix and match those cultures? What Ben culture west where barani who by used to your advantage, which are culture by our community do any we never use to your advantage. I don't know, but y'all answer that like you expert on this is your area of interest. In the marketing expert, you know yourself, you know what you want from others, and you go get it. But yeah, Ben, my decision, how can we advance below into PhD and all my self empowerment journey, the courses, yeah, below certificate, we think, yeah, kuni, India. I part of self awareness, Alakiir, get your intellectual growth. I think you get very important part of me, learning, continuous learning. So I thought anti masters, the chalo anong lon PhD and I don't need PhD to add any value to me anymore in terms of economic value value you or ban around. I live with education token and man I can successfully feed myself to meet I back a point. Um, but the reason to and love for PhD, I feel like I need to grow intellectually. And I need to do research, especially in entrepreneurship. Think about it on the youth and gave my area of interest. Entrepreneurial education in the context of now digital world, in the context of AI. How will business or entrepreneurship or innovation value change down the road? And how can we adapt our education system to these new realities? That is the area of interest. And it's something that we learn to deal with and we want entrepreneurs. I realize my knowledge is enough or that there is the field is changing every single day and we need to be educators who are current with the trend. That is part of self-awareness, right? Where you know what you are doing and gaps you get and you realize the more you create time for personal growth, because this education, the education I think actually education balu ja pol ku ba ja an ki bera men ku kuluma that am jalu focus school education ba lo kan lui but an lo kan build mentally so that ba lon dia loy ba support. Actually, the self-awareness, you grow professionally and also personally in terms of your relationship, in terms of the work that you do. And that is the reason that when you realize it, you need not evaluate every day. And I had evaluated one of my video at the band, it has a season, look at it, season of generally of renewal. Okay, by part of mental renewal, right? You know there's a new knowledge about it. You got to be a part of that knowledge, right? And then now the actually we anything one which are now you come back because we when you to walk on the U-turn every day, you know, like here we are wake up in work with jam that we need a U-turn, we need to be renewed every day near us. So a part of me discovering that get your learning a continuous maybe but like you near that I need to know more than that. The end of it Berot Bella upgrade Bella in different field or different areas. So in case the reason can be jarred to children, and I know many people do it. A good thing. I encourage education because even actually education, they can talk Canada, and opportunity you want to take it to the next level. You want to set the bar high so that cock of Bachian bigger we dream higher. One of my motivation that when you get opportunity balatin ka dula polchili e beti gatim yen ke jangule ke da kuchaga am ka chi dake so I can get a dake when it comes to education I cha kor ba dake ja gudena na under to PhD no kan blatin yen ke kar ba le ka when ke kar ba la community a message of the youth and that when something which I got you could do that lower to the next level and if it's something related to growth and progress and renewal and the youth and please take it even with both hands to balai la kira I hope your question which answer
Thank you, Kualakur. And now you bring in a very important perspective of defining why you're doing what you're doing, why you're going for a PhD, and that will keep you grounded. If it gets frustrated, you're like, you know what? I know why I'm doing this, and that's gonna build your resilience. It builds resilience. It keeps you going. It moves you when the times are tough. I see Ruben Pancho defining self-awareness. Nyinyirot is self-awareness. Thank you so much, Ruben. And then Kokorot in selfishness, and which they call it selfishness, but it's another conversation. We'll talk about that. So in terms of education, I just want to summarize that Baradni, it really does make you choose a place where you shine. You will actually choose where you have strength. You will take time to build on what you're already good at, and that will make your life so much easy. Like I said, I usually say there's no price for suffering. If there's something you can do with no struggle, go for it. Struggle is good when it's teaching you something. If you're always open minded about what the struggle is teaching you, what resilience you will get out of it, then it's good. But I tell you, at point of suffering, just go and do what you're really good at. And trust me, when you do something really well, people will recognize. Opportunities will recognize you and they will find you in your path. I tell Baluel that my goal this year is to make more money. And all you do in the morning is wake up, glory team or wake up and start gossiping with friends. And you might even start talking to friends and say, hey, this year Uncle will say, now they will be conscious about where they invite you. They will not invite you where the expenses are extravagant. Bella Louis Ben Wujit, they will be aware of how to support you in your journey of saving money, going back to school. They will send they will send you links to apply for a job. So that self-awareness that you can guide a heritage when it comes to career. I will not go deep in that. We'll move on to relationships. Self-awareness in in relationships. I'm talking all relationships here, but in the interest of the youth, koi gup to a romantic relationship, let's talk about it. Let's talk about romantic relationship. So I have a story about somebody. Let's say Mabur is looking for a partner. He wants to get married. Without self awareness, he will base his criteria of choosing a partner on superficial qualities like beauty, social status, and prioritize what the friends think about their partner, what the family think, and then will chase after this idealized image of a person that they have in their head. So when you write the points, Angkor nyan bar, nyan piet, nyan del malwal, nyan chikoy ka panda gam, chi mat kia chika gam. And then he ends up marrying that girl because, yes, you will find what you're looking for. I believe that. Now, it's not your friends or your family that's going to live with this woman day to day. And then their personalities start to come out. Mabior will have two choices. When they realize they don't like this lady, they'll either leave her and go marry another one, or they will accept that it was solely their responsibility and decision to choose a partner and learn how to deal with it. The other side is Mabur is self-aware. Will take time to understand his own values, honesty, emotional intelligence, intimacy, love language, blah blah blah, intellectual connection, and the jam about your career with. And they will look at their past relationship pattern. What have they done in the past that did not work out? Yonguchi lawyer in the past that girls are leaving him. So he need to fix that internally. And then he would just go on and um, understanding their attachment style and communication preference. Maybe era niar niar jam telephone and niar ran lui text, then he will look for the person that likes texting. Um, they will write down their non-negotiable qualities in a woman that they're looking for. That is, if they don't have this, I'm not even gonna give them time of my day. Um, we've had cases of people choosing a partner without understanding them and then invest their money. Banya tao sukule. Amya kalako yura no kor, chi in kor, now your money is gone. My brother, think about it. Um, and they will think about what make them feel secure and happy in a relationship. So when meeting potential partners, Mabir will pay attention not to just what other person is presenting, but what he's looking for, and then he will respond to whether he's feeling a genuine connection, and his core needs and values are aligning with the partner. He will likely ask questions, thoughtful questions. Gok, not just jam lapayeye, chaladi. He will ask real questions. He will share expectations. I expect to get married after 2 years. Is this your goal? Talk about the serious stuff first and then the fun stuff after. That's my approach. It will ensure the compatibility beyond just being physically attracted to each other. He will listen to friends' advice, but with caution. Are these people really for me? Do they want what's best for me, or do they want to just say, "Wan mother kichiti nyan bar, nyan piet." But they're not aware what you're dealing with this woman day to day might be draining you, draining your money emotionally, whatnot. So, in managing the relationship, in learning about themselves, maybe will learn about his emotional intelligence. Naye ran chatiag, let's say already ended up with somebody who's very attractive, doesn't know their communication style, and is being frustrated emotionally, they'll try to look inwards and understand the emotional triggers. What does this woman say that triggers you so much? Bina korbala ninwe. Hmm? What does she say? And why are you reacting to that? He will try to communicate. Maningadi, when you say this, it's not really very respectful, it's not respecting my boundaries. And he will try and communicate perspective there so they can get on the same page with whoever they're stuck with. So you apply this self-awareness journey in your relationship. Let me flip it to the side of girls. We are raised to wait for the man to come to you. All the men will come to you, all of them. Now, if you don't have a criteria that you've written down and say, these are my non negotiable, this man must have a house ready. For if I have children, there's somewhere I can sleep. I cannot be homeless. If there is an emergency, this man must have a car. Those are valid, non negotiable, by the way. um, yin milis do ba jagor ki nenya. Joko ben nangin kabangi Iran kena Iran kor will Iran chi kor. And the same token in the modern culture, you go for what you're looking for. If you know this part of town, actually quite you've been approached, maybe try a different part of town. Go there and hang out and see if they're offering what you're looking for. So we'll apply it to relationship and relationship management. That includes day-to-day conversation. That includes the fights in the in the relationship. And I want to respond to Akwal question, but I don't recall what it was in the beginning, and then I'll turn it back to her. Akwal, what was the question?
Yeah, no, before one and question here, you non about romantic relationship and how self awareness. I'm getting all of Maria, I let Jamating for me. Welcome to the U10. Uncle Amolatim, mashallah, I'm happy you are here. Wallo, presentation, Alakiir, we present about self awareness and how when you apply to what jam how you apply careers in and she para she liked that the idea that ba career do ba line can your strength your talent your abilities what comes in on in Iran but I check near coach or can strength can we trending. So now I judge so thank you, Faraj. I really appreciate your comments. I saw them. But na a better romantic relationship in Alakiir. I can't wait on the but culture then ya part of question when that's culture then you want to come romantic relationship, relationship on the young one pair or it's not based on the choice of a partner, a collective choice. Yeah, think of what, I don't know how for sure, maybe they do self awareness. But now, what they are you got on theory, you know, who can hear now, who you are yoking, what you wear, who you look like. But they are going to okay, scammers, so they know themselves, they know what they want. I don't know how no, for the another day. Someone, and I really appreciate that person for posting it. I will walk in a Jawar Kulalu by and target, by the way. There are lost boys. In the Gajan, look at a Jawar, big of South Sudan, big of TK, and you feel like we could you is scammers and parasite people who want to drain them emotionally and financially. So he's angry because of so many things. You can in the comment. I think no robot or charity man because actually they are drained. And no robot have lost their lives because Allah you they are when you are not contributing to their life. They are making their life miserable and difficult. If they talk about whom or think about and which will be alive then every year because of women, and that is it. It contributes to personally to self-awareness conversation today. Why I bring that one up is do nature you that you need to love ina cha wu kwet kin yo moch ko dama du ni tige bena ye chi jalo ayin dio bi ko ba yora America kin ja jalo en wo ku ja kwet or ka ja den be ku lo je la nyon nyan to toy dit na ye to pa ne da nyan ko toy dit e ku pieta pa e ki le ja ga e ti le yer ju min kre ni ala ki e ki di dir na e ki ne kalwa ke ke nyan malwal che ne ni to ga toy mana go ke amal ka ku ke tik lo jo ma ti du ne lo jo yu ran ku go so you maybe you rot you chirot assess ke kore nyan piet. Maybe that's what you want. But now you internal work I can bear. How will you deal with the precious because yes the physically is looking good but upstairs I think what are inside it. Naja beg Pierre do look a beautiful problem. I just to yourself. That's a beautiful problem. We have a beautiful problem. Because you scammers. And you don't know you have a scam yourself. So part of self-awareness, like when it comes from romantic relationship, is knowing yourself and go and ask questions, meaning that information, but neither and do talk any record, right? Talk any record, does she have what it takes? Now, does he have what it takes? Sometimes what they are, we just focus because of evolutionary needs. We focus on income, but sometimes you may have income, but it's abusive. He has everything. For example, a good home, money, access money, a little bit like Dubai, a little bit. It's not very expensive. I don't live like Cancun. It's not very expensive. I don't know here. But a little bit later one when maybe a little bit tempting it, but of mass when Elon Musk. But he has everything. But then internally, I could, a very empty person, right? I can deep conversation, right? I can emotional intelligence that na jam ko will we connect at personal level. So you will, if now your money gone on in, then you will lack other aspects, right? You will lack intimacy, you will lack intellectual intimacy, you will lack emotional intimacy, you will lack so many other areas that you may need to find other sources being solved. Can problem I can invite Pandu, right? That's why in romantic relationship, I wanted to emphasize nong nyiti the educator so what the tiak so I know like the man anyway she's using the knowledge of self-awareness, and that may be one reason that can end all by sorry for you guys. But my sister, elder sister, Asunta was advising me them and being on their and telling you I'm going to go get you. Go let call na corbitia. Okay, you need some emotional intelligence. If you project yourself out there, when you loy kun you pay, can you brood you chalk at your empowerment along the arrow, I got your wire too will accept you. What you need, but not humble, but height your strength because the power kind of scares others away. Look, so she understands that she if you have a power, you have to hide it to get what you want. Now very deep debate can end. Naja hide kujara and wrong person ja invite into my life. Kula kujala project me jala baby get inside. What will happen? You will shock them. and and I think we know you in the but now we're going to get the exact word. I'm going to and do the like yum, can actually be a very good advice. No culture then that Kaylee, Queen Kay Dollar, and I mean, Kayin Ripa Yitaka. They know this a lot. Take area of Conpian, I think Yala Banga baby. They don't know why it is like that because if not really authentic, ka look at judge. Oh, yeah, that does not mean you don't have self awareness. It means you have self awareness. You know your power, you know your strength, but you don't want to project it because now allowing you are going to be a disadvantage, so you hide it. Maybe a hidden self awareness in our culture. But what we are doing at the U-turn here is to project it. We need to be known for who we are and be respected for who we are authentic, and that is the power that will take away now in Alakiir for it to have meaningful, fulfilling relationship. Okay, you have your understanding of self need be partner to be nye, or husband and wife to be nye. That who you are, in ke who you are. Na ler bi ku chakla le na mo ndwa yile e kalen na che na tinye ni ki right of lo la ting do yile kalen na that's not ting dia nyela because authentic values ke ni chala ke ga la ke na negotiable I think well be and they are not so he's known for who he is so then that is my takeaway or romantic relationship but yeah better question do the like question is that how do we deal with this culture that we have to hide our knowledge of our awareness ourselves. Achieve Ruben Panchola do answer is one thing to barangi to know yourself is another thing bakokrat But once you are in cockroach, because now you will make decisions that serve you. So I had a think we're talking, but that thing I feel like in our culture because but I knew to back alloy to benefit in a cockroach advantage. Our society is set up in such a way that you look at the what who could do. So it's about kada, not could do. How do we deal with that? That is one aspect of that question. Another aspect, but religion, Jabala Martin, how do we use religion to, because Kokom and Agamari, Krisano, Kokom routine that do Bella Tirkanita, because a big deal. So how do we use religion? One way of, self-awareness, promoting self-awareness in Alakiir. I know the different religions, human Buddhism, and now practices, human yoga, kidera no yi other practices, yen ko ko ni tin. Human yen when chala chira la ni tri jawali e chan ti ala chi go ka jala de. So what go like this. So how do we use those platforms when we self awareness that advance? That was my question. And how can we counter the negative impact of our culture to progress?
Hey, very, very great question. Um, I will start kana kanisa. Elo lamba dugu chade ka cheta wagenda. Eta kurno barani ben mer. This is message to the young girls that are being told to make themselves small and not intimidate men and not shine through, or otherwise people will run away from you. But what you are doing is actually hiding the gifts that God has given you. Alwela kadang mon tijara tija achirial go koi when koi kedia go ko when I don't know Greek ketir. I don't remember the exact story. But what those people did with Greek ketir chika when in my interpretation is whatever your gift is. Kichi dia kani ne kichi ni ala chi yeni or chi chalin kaga kwandun. How you use that determines what value you bring to the community, right? So Lambert Wichadeva was very bright. You cannot just hide in the house with all that brightness. You are actually doing everyone injustice by not speaking up, by not bringing your talent to the world, by not coming to Facebook. Bokoy bichanendo, tadene ranchi, kakenche gwer, no machelari rollman because I chatua kala chugwala yum. This is a value you are adding. You are taking your talent, your God given talent, and you are using it for good. Ali Ben kana relationship in Yankui, she said it from the point of love and and she has seen around what her friends actually end up in unfortunate circumstances where they could have gotten a really great and fulfilling relationship had they just toned themselves down a little bit. But Achi authority genuine will accept. If people are not accepting and celebrating you the way you are with all your crazy and all your good, you should leave and go somewhere else because I know environment is the biggest factor in your growth and determining the quality of life you live. So young girls, it comes down to your goal. Now your goal do a beat and you they are actually keep them the real self away until berandit mit kero mit kedia now we be mial man mi the chen yen so they know when they actually have the power they wait until they have the power and the power is having the kids achiran bicho away mit kui nobody's gonna tell you anything but by waiting until what the mit kedia you could have accomplished a lot of things. Can you shine by being who you are within those I don't know 6 or 7 years. Enyanto in the parliament Kenya any jam. Good girls don't get the corner office, and I truly believe that. Now you know Jalukira Nikan people will try you. I be in Lueka when you trigger because they know you don't know who you are. You are just operating based on the society beliefs and expectation of who you should be, right? And it's not just Kenya. I saw a video. I think I sent it to you recently. Don't know what her name is. She was in a parliament and doesn't write or read English. Jam tongi jing. And how she got there is being authentically herself. Aya gol kulwelen, hani nyan chin pio. Establishing her brand that people will not try to mess with her because I chin pio. And that is not coming from the point where people just decide "Bigya champion." It is from the culture where people who do not care about society expectation on a woman actually do better, and is proven in our society. If you go out there and tell people, I don't care what society expect of me, I'm gonna show you all the smoke, they will give space. I've been parallel president. So that you need to be bold if you want to bring like really big change in the community and challenge all the gender norms. That way the Nyirweben Ichoka will not feel the need to appeal to one specific ideal of a woman to make it in life. There are different paths. Your own path might be different or difficult. But if you actually choose baloy kilotwing, if you choose kulwel kereleji pidu ret eba you much, by all means be quiet and meek and weak until be tiak amiyaki jalapar. Each and every diak and shock them. um, Speaking of the culture of waiting and being part of the community, Kawachia at least I didn't you choose how to engage with culture. And I truly believe that because we are not purely culture GM or purely culture Kawajat or culture Kenya. We've picked up different cultures along the road as we travel to our current destinations in life and in geography. And you pick up what works for you. So our Korban and good again, you need to place Kakor PDH. I have no problem kana koi kor be community please bikia nirpiet bikia oi tinga kwat. If that is your brand, do it and do it very well. Even go ahead and choose wife for your husband. Do that. Bija Lage need a Pro Max. Now she is breaking all the ground about how to be a good community wife. It's a teaching thing one. Again, if that is not your goal, don't try to live like that. Knowing a chen kakor. I kakor is your personal fulfillment. Go 100% in to personal fulfillment. And it's a matter of principle. Chana law, if you go to the bed at the end of the day and you're not happy with what you've done during the day, then you are failing yourself. So being completely honest in a good day. By honest, glow a lie, this is what I want in my life, and this is how I'm going to live my life. It might not be easy, it might not be understood by other people, but that's okay. You also don't even understand it until it's done. Usually you reflect, oh, this is why I did this. It really did work out, but in the moment, I changed it. So if you notice at the beginning of the slides, there was a compass with a heart in it. Choosing using your internal compass to show where you go in life. I think it's what I've been living for most part, and it's working out for me. Naira anti compass do tell outside of yourself, and it's working for you. By all means, keep pleasing us. We also love koi koi loy sav. People will not say no. They'll keep expecting you to show up in that way. Um, in terms of relationship, culture is changing. If you haven't noticed, men don't even be chasing people anymore. You're like, no, they move on. Next day you find out they actually went and get married, could tell with LinkedIn on WhatsApp. Now you're shocked, thinking about do nangin. Achiladu. So my sister, if you like someone, tell them. Tell them. Lily Yin, I like you. I want to build life can yin, but this is what I want for us to go there. That's a healthy way of approaching it. And it might not work for a lot of people. Tenengage, it's also a numbers game. When you are looking for, you will get what you want and they will approach you. So leading with a goal, leading with a value, um, goal, and then it build up to your purpose in life.
Before we India, let up in Alakiir.
Yeah.
So by Guru and thank you, Cobra Dean. Yeah, I'm Olatim for your comments.
Hmm.
So I don't well actually I remember something you don't buy Akechi. Akechi teeth. There's this culture of being Niro jar by force by fire.
Hmm.
So if I just when the maybe a tien war read or you wrestle like a very strong person or an object. Kay in jara without when mon kiri chale low to an telephone or a kin high. You don't even know that don't think to know dear. You took chat for hours. Bala ni pande na kop kulwela anite.
Mm.
And I don't know how they work. So now like yeah, I want you to travel in time.
Mm.
In that situation, so you need to get you need to call for example, or wara rate. That
Mm.
is this the high level thing called when you ping rate. But then now you are in that family and there is more into that. Maybe one no you go kumke. How do knowledge of self, make you succeed in that environment? Because you succeed. So when you come with your ben by go part you now create in society, you work like a grant quite like I think to Louis. You're welcome. Either in your right, in your get it can use by force. Unless in your paid, which different. Got a different way around it. But I thought no one will very unusual by to support. So you know, so yeah, and I need what she wants and she go for it a bolt. Now mo do mo maybe mo jana wani what he wants. Like you can nyande tirai na munde chawara be are very successful in that because no can motivate most of it. If you listen to to a lot of artistic work, I think that are motivated by love, either love core or love to lose. When I heard the Japan community in the arts, they can not really laugh, they laugh. So in mo nyana love dun de kor kwa chicken. But I need that I know getting a calibrating nyan do call it right yo. Maybe she won't be anything did to her and culture then polygamy and I but now and the Yoruba who now con you can be acting did. So what he won in what can you appear now to be out just struggle to get. Yeah, how do knowledge of self-awareness help in those complex situations when it comes to relationship? Because relationship actually linear.
Yeah, I will try. I don't know because I haven't lived in
No,
that
you can
context.
join I did now. I don't know. I
About
this
them,
is
about them,
100 years ago.
about them, man. So it's not just back in the day. Even a man I running talent. You see the culture of baby mama. I got kind of talk celebrities. They have the wealth. They have the status. NBA players are very tall. You can have children that are NBA players. Of course, everybody will want them, right? And self-awareness, ranching self-awareness, kabilo, oh, I actually am getting girls now, so I can date whoever I want. Self-awareness, I can bend to actually reflect on what the other person wants. I can perceive that they are actually are human beings with goals, and those goals might not be in your best interest. Self-awareness is all about taking the time because all we have is time. All we have is time. So taking the time to actually understand what is the goal of this woman. Nyan ci ben bae yongo golden. Yena chi attracted to because in a lakini tenen kor bi di mi the ket or a kor bi ngi da rating nga ket a rating. So your self awareness all about we apply and nyan do no gok and men do this nyan do no gok you actually like you go and say nyan chora chajar achana goya ting dit and ting dit used to be a position of leadership. I think it still is. It's a position of leadership. Now, ting dit, you are the one with decision making power in that household. Yinike mama coach. Even ting ti, I think they call ting din mama or something in some scenario. So kabi ko ting din ko arabu ko labay. What I'm familiar with is nyan chiliaj kubi bai. Kanyan kiniliaj ababayad. That stories have happened. And Ranjija constituting it has politics on how to determine it. So the self-awareness is to understand what are the goals of other people and then what are those goals they're placing on you. Now I mentioned awareness of women as strategists and know what they want and know what they want to get out of you, you will fall for it. Kule walai. Oh, she loves me. Probably not. Probably they just want very tall boy that can play NBA. Probably they want a talented young boy that will take them out of poverty. Now, like a band, and they might actually do something good for these women. Um, so self-awareness of being your primary goal and how you can achieve that, but at the same time not offending the community because we operate from a community standpoint. Inchi kurba banya ba barech kudugnam na kwa kuna bika lumake dia disrespect. You will let them stay. You will go and get your the girl you need. Convince them that this is who you actually want. Tell them, sell them the dignity because she's not pregnant yet. So that's how I will strategize. I'm not advocating for polygamy or people going to men houses by force. It's forced marriage in the men's side. That's not good. Um, but that's where you will apply self-awareness. But little hand yan yin kar chuo go churo ni akar be in thing media. Now chok dear be ben I still have her in my life and I will make sure she is well taken care of and not threatened in her position. Kaya ting did establish that. Um, and women are logical. They understand logic. Na enya anu chi chuo gama deal ka ben by and you will have actually two for free. Maybe not for free, but yeah, Carol.
Aguro, aguro. But begin, but at the end, where do you before me? Where do you book last slide? So when pan chol ke jam kulela some when in the rot kuja community alu conflict. So sometimes you need a barani but alu override by the community values, right?
Mm.
And that is what we are struggling to unpack here. Like how do you know you need a cook, but there is what community expect of you. And when we talk about community, I think, well, let's take for example family, right? So you know, like you know your needs, you know your values, you know your goal in life. You know, for example, in relationship, what kind of relationship you like, or your career will be like. But then now the community you work all family cheni di tin ga community do because community of all family to come jala. So your own family are not your own expectation. Many people around you want you, maybe they want you by a dictator. Now
Mm.
dictator can just successful. So now you will be influenced to do things for them. Not because you like them, but it's about them or they want you beat yak mon chui. They don't want you beat yak mon bo, for example, and because the influence, now you have personal interest based on your knowledge of yourself, your values, and how we align. Can run say it quotes. Just example, my bo. But pandon chukor bigger work and board. Maybe there is one man that family member total and they have brush shoulders with other tomgal by people and they don't want to meet face to face. We want to then discuss with those bad people. Now, okay, your personal thing at Albright, or you either have now to find either based on your goal and values and vision of yourself, based on your knowledge of self, or value based on and everything. One example. Another person that you jam, anyway, do like if you know yourself, his answer to that question of indirectly that if you know yourself, and then any relationship will not be affected, right? You will know how to navigate things around. Maybe y'all did coconut. And then someone jam about the culture of TikTok. Cobra dinge jam culture of TikTok. It will affect so many relationships. So this is maybe someone do not express can work jam. Gen Z they like expressing themselves either vulgar language or dancing or doing crazy thing on the TikTok. To them that is self-awareness. That's who they are. They are free to do what they want. But in our community that you think bad, right? Because we think bija lot of ngani or bija a lot can go on the TikTok because I find it shameful. So now, how do you navigate all those things, the realities and cultural expectations of us?
Yeah, of course. It's always going to be a struggle. Might not be easy. Naira and Win who place value on being accepted in the community, then you will struggle a lot. The way I handle it personally is actually by holding the community accountable, not as a group, because you're not gonna find them sitting down kujukajami. Maybe at some point in the future, I'll actually go and unleash my crazy on the whole community, microphone it. But for now, it's one at a time, one conversation at a time. Ranaji, let's take a scenario. They have called and they're talking about, oh, Alakiir, mandani inche jatu wan sukuli, and when you jati ak mandan wo kor bucham, oh, ken yella, ken yella. First, first you would want to react, respectful. It's your uncle, it's your cousin, you don't want to cuss them out. So you'll want to respond to them in a respectful manner. You'll want to express yourself why you're doing things the way that you are doing it and not the way community is expecting it. Ayeran ning nyir cheka tiak pandun, I would say, okay, one chena chol tiak ye mo ye kanke di chaka becham. That's question number one. Runa che ko bi moj be yen ke lo ko. Na ye ke lo ko ke nyir ke la kula kula wan. Che ka tiak panda e di chi chong dun che nyai de ka chin ke ka be yo ko ba ka be leken. Yinin kor bin tiak. Ya kor be an tiak. You express the challenge. It's challenging. It's not that many if you have a non-negotiable and nobody is meeting them, the express you say, you know what? Rur benangana kachakar bay. So maybe bayan kwan with introduction. Yang ayating abu pia kamanden like yanda emonyo jating. Now make them engage and involve because it's a community thing. Tingekar community might as well contribute by showing me in a core piantia. Let me evaluate them. Don't shut them down. Give them opportunity to participate in the decision making. Kulweli okay, let's do it. Baida ingachalo propose and tell me exactly why you think they're the right person for me. Iran we've been bus kaga cultural expectation have not really thought about it. Then Kabijalu reveal it and they might not even have anyone in mind. They might not have answer to those questions. Chakati ke kabajwal, hey, dunia na go you also need to contribute and do your part. Um, Another thing is, oh, I'm kind weird, like dab nirwan I ka go yet the dab ku gwirunde. So bake a kanga chan gora juira goro gogianting. It's not a serious thing, it's just serious, but it will make them think, okay, now this is a culture expectation, but culture to me is everybody participate. Rana bina lui pitchin. Na chi nya chi dir ka nge bida watch, nge bida ka ija watch, nge bu wata bi juira bi katanga bida no ma bi nge bi si jaja bi watch, na mi a lot then we all benefit. Lakini brana ben people who can not with zero contribution, I will hold them accountable. I'll be like, okay, it seems like we have failed the community, not just me. It's our failure. Let's talk about it. Now, what can we do from here to get the desired results? What can you do? Iran Binjam. I have tried. Seems like I failed. Chiman Young baja loy bayan coin, very much. Watch Cecila. Beheka benka would juir actually pay my bills so I can have time to hang out and meet men because working is the ghetto. Achi chindaman ko juir pan because so make it about them. So community, yes, they want to perpetuate the stereotypes of what you should do, what you should please people with. But the community I remember is where everyone participate and everyone invest in their collective future. Collective future work buka bay thing Alakiir was everyone investing a chi will and a chi dap, a chi mail and a chi dam yet, a chi nira kaike chicken nine num piat, a chi man a chi ye wood, a chi woon a chi sijaja a chi watch. This is a collective thing, like everybody actually contributed from what I remember. Mandana, there are different ways you can get ready to go look for a man. In korba bayang yicheng, in korba nang time, then ask them to pay the bills. Now, na ye ko chin can be bell well the chana chala ke let's fix the problem and it's not being fixed. Na iram bin jam ka kin yung yin go kan monjuro wochi kuro monjuro wochi kan ask them, okay, one chin jati moin twin chini jati ang moin twin duna. Piru piet. Huh? Is that helping you? Tell me exactly what are the benefits of what you're suggesting for me to do in detail. And abulum ke real nyen, but I am not at the age where I will be told Iranian and not say anything back. So they will respect me and say, okay, what you say is actually making sense. And the way you say it will suggest that you actually respect their opinion and you want them to contribute to the community development, whatever that is. Na lega ben kan stereotype. Oh, you're kai diar loyal kwa diar loyal. Point out the relationship is not working out from jur kenya kalwe bigalo market nangina. Oh, Trinidad, KDR, no, KDR, yellow. Give an example. Molendu, Chilwem is used, Chilwem is street in this community. Tell them exactly. One chenning at the aka, peer them and then a chila pip, young chapel and baka coin, because you guys will be back up your name at the cage, clock one eating. Like make them think about their accountability and their contribution to the decision making you bigger been insert into in your life. So that's how I've used self-awareness, being aware of what exactly is their goal. I sit back, I used to react and be like, oh, don't call me a failure, I'm an independent woman. No, nowadays I sit down and actually talk and be like, let's talk about it. I look around and y'all good. I around them who actually thought about it. They want to help you. Kabig really go ya winning changi ita pingwan ko yila kala ziria number or liena number di. I will talk to them. I'll actually give them my time and talk about it because I know I'll quite near a peer pit and they want to help me and I'll give them opportunity. Chijala lui work out at least kachakalu recognize in their position as leaders in the community or in the family. So this is how I handle them makwalaku.
No,
Don't know
no,
if that
no, no.
makes sense.
The way you know unpacked it makes everything easy. In the Jalaman when you don't go in the jam kulele, nani rap. If you know self-awareness, if you are self-aware, you will handle any situation because actually you no reacting, no nothing.
Yeah.
You will just settle with them and discuss from the place of awareness. You are grounded because you got a period and no
Mm.
one can advise you to make a wrong decision. So I see a question here. uh, Benton, but before that, maybe next step slide back on to Bujala 1 2 and it will copy Nana run a question for Alakiir which other but see in the comment section in the next 2 3 minutes and then we wrap up because this conversation and me are right who would have thought self-awareness is we have 30 minutes what 1 hour one could lose 2 hours. So I want you to wrap it up and then we will see last question to we will show here.
Yes. Thank you, Rhoda. And thank you everyone that is contributing in the comments. Trust me, I'm learning from you. I will be reading them fully. I read them lightly. I a question I be a quality, but up to this point, Kuyiran Kinda yeah. First thing you need to do is share this video. It could change somebody's life and you want to be that change factor. That's why you are on U-turn in the community, and this is what we're doing. Um, Number two is after this, watching this show, sit down and write something. It's not for me, it's for yourself. So Achigat, it's gonna be holding yourself accountable. Kobaloy. Nyoje, garapin 2 to 3 key strengths. Like what are you really good at? What are your key strengths? It comes from people complimenting you. It comes from sitting down and reflecting what you are really good at. Reflect, sit with your thoughts. No music, no conversation with people. Lum galam ku warek chin katatin ku garapin. Whatever comes to your mind, keep writing until you cannot, or just one and two. Uh, Write two things, two strengths, two core values. Yeah, then two core values. Baka garpin. Values are, for example, supporting women. For me, is a value. How I show it in my day to day is weekly. I will sit down on U-turn and try to be present and contribute to the conversation that is gonna help women somehow. And then reflect on how these things show up in your day to day. If your value is your kindness, how does it show up in your day to day? Have you shown a kindness to a random stranger? Have you been kind in the way you respond to people who are in a, it's easy be balu react, but na brani been we are emotionally reactive to you. How do you respond with kindness? There's a way to do that. If your value is honesty, but you've written your goals at the beginning of the year and you have not looked at them ever since, you need to actually be real with yourself. Be honest, Kulwel. Am I really writing my core values or am I just writing values that I think will make me cool? It's your journey. Now, so I will leave it there. And then for career and other ways to learn about yourself, I think MBTI is very popular. Go to mbtionline.com and take the questionnaire. It might not be free anymore, but if you're in school, they might have a subscription that can help you, or you can find a similar questionnaire. And then Big Five personality test. You can read the Big Ocean Five and understand how to use it. There's content. Iran now privilege of reading and writing. Please take advantage of the internet and do these questionnaires. Emotional intelligence assessment is free. You go to the link I provided. I'll post them in the comments after this. And then please read the privacy agreement before you complete an online form. How they use your information. You might need to pay attention to that in the age of AI and cybersecurity. Maybe don't use your real name or use aliases when you fill out these forms. Don't put your location. Just be mindful of your safety. So to close it, is self-awareness is a journey. It's a journey of understanding your values, your needs, your emotional patterns, and communication style. It's really good for building very healthy and fulfilling relationships of all kinds, professional, family, romantic, and we've talked about this. It's good for your growth. You understand your relationship patterns and you learn from those past experiences. Chin could be running like in being going than what you tell yourself. Learn to pay attention to your inner conversation and try and cultivate healthier dynamics. If you find yourself in a yelling match with people, maybe sit down and think about why is these people triggering me. Take a break from them and then come back to that conversation when you are properly grounded on in who you are. Inge rot in chila biran we be like in kulel walai gala kiraran yila and I react to it. No. I might take a break and think about it. Sometime I might react to it. It's a journey. It's not like you're gonna be perfect once and for all. It's staying curious about who you are, staying curious about how you can show up as a better person and how to be properly self reliant and motivated, intrinsic from your inside. That and you'll keep going and you'll have the resilience for it. So now we will address the questions in the comments. Please put those questions there and then we'll talk about it and we'll close pretty soon.
Thank you, Alakiir, for wonderful presentation. I've learned a lot about self-awareness. I've done those tests, self-assessment tests, emotional intelligence tests. I have done everything. I've listened to people. I have mentors. I have coaches. And I have myself a lot of the YouTube videos they are uploading in Alakiir. Thank you for so much for I have done them, but I never know that I'm actually in a journey of self-awareness until until Majalwell exactly now. Sometimes we do things autopilot, but I can go here and watch, like this is the package. This is what I'm actually doing. I'm doing self-discovery every day. Or why Ben you tend to manage your value women empowerment. And every Saturday you usually show up. Like I don't think you when you miss one or two, I don't know, but you are always here. I didn't know this is your commitment, but you have been doing it because it values who you are. So I never even thought about it. That's why she's here. She's contributing and she's making every day. Now watch it. I think you are put into perspective that when you are self-aware, you know what you can give to the world. You know what you can take to the world. Now you organize yourself in such a way that everything is in alignment. Can your values, your aspiration, your goal, and everything just come naturally. So this conversation is very important. And Francis was giving a compliment. What if Alakiir is capable of doing everything for herself? Yes, when you are self-aware, you can be self-reliant. It was actually one of the points. Self-awareness, a journey to self-reliance, because you know your needs, and then now you will know how to cater for them in a way that is effective. So that answer in the presentation, in Francis Chagai, from the very beginning, Alakiir is very capable of it. Of it. But that does not mean you don't need, people. You are here with us on the U10, and you also need other people, personal people in your life. If not, you U10 fun, the better. So that while we will U10, we are here.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. But my question, I think question that English abandoned my question, but like so I can learn in every day we want a lot of challenges in the context being to work right? So sometimes I know put in the comment why we react because of triggers trauma, right? How do we actually trauma inform self-awareness, right? Like at sometimes because of all the challenges in work taking all the trauma was out from poverty, like what better fresh Kitini can go me very fast. You have seen a lot of people now dying of high blood pressure and heart attack because our system are on autopilot. We are not living. Watch yourself. We have been hardened, and anything small boom. Facebook post they carry your remy from everywhere, like in a way that is very radical because of trauma, right? And like you're being in the conversation, one two call out and one call one from Australia. Even he was just reassuring himself that and I came from Facebook, but actually Facebook born again. So when I realizing that whatever happening here now is causing me stress and mental health can be yeah, because in Gerard mighty cheap or and who's trying to heal and finding ways to heal. But other people may not be self-aware to have that mindset that, and important because I want something positive. But if it's becoming toxic to me, can how do we practice that trauma informed awareness from your knowledge and experience?
Yeah, of course. Step number one is just being aware that injury through trauma. Not a lot of people actually recognize that they have traumas, and that's why every single thing or a lot of things they find triggering. And one of them, I have gone through trauma, things I get trigger, and when I respond to things in the present, I'm not responding as myself now. I'm responding from that point of trauma. So until you are traumatized, can we respond? A misplaced emotion. First is to pay attention to them. Bangi yin in trauma. Yin we react to things. Just that awareness, in a goal of self-awareness. Can now the second layer is, am I ready to deal with this trauma that I went through? I am ready to deal with it. Write it down, and write the emotions associated with it. There's so many prompts online to do your healing journey and to do a daily papers, daily pages. They draw daily pages. A friend of mine got me a journal that is called Daily Pages, and it has like question prompts. Like at the end of the day, I sit down and write into those prompts, and that created a habit of reflecting on what is happening, what is going on, because it's easy to just go through the motions and not even take a moment to breathe and say, "Oh, wow, not cool." and I chill on Facebook and I saw this thing, and then after chan Facebook Theo Kula Jam can quite offline, I start reacting based on what that Facebook is saying to me. Because trauma che one and done. Trauma talk, chill to talk. I chabe duk ingi chala thing as related to your trauma, you talk at your teenage. Of course, in piola nyonya, you will start being hurt all over again and reacting from that place of being hurt. So number two. Number three is to take control. You know, you need to in control. Telephone kana a little bit turn off and go about your day. Na yin chinwana rete je koi to online ke yin anxiety all day or ke yin reaction. They make you doubt yourself. They make you feel small. Stories ye kalwela che kanyar ke, and that's why we came to do the U-turn and go jam kaka positive. Things that feed, not take away from your soul. Things that feed your imagination. Things that feed your hope. They are hopeful for the future. Because now a lot about the hope we are depleted, and I'm gonna talk about this in reference to Curtis South Sudan. Going online and reading all the negative perspectives of what is happening, which I'm not talking about the war, I'm talking about the leadership. Reading negative perspective, a leadership will deplete your sense of hope in the future. And losing hope is not a place you want to be. It's a very dangerous place. You don't want to be there. So you will need to reflect, "Well, okay, kaka ya loba ya hopeless." Personally, it was things to do with transatlantic slave trade and racism. Those things make me feel hopeless, and I don't like being hopeless. So, how do I take control? How do I know I'm actually in control of my reality? I turn off the phone, I uninstall the Facebook, uninstall the TikTok. Yeah, for 1 day or 2 days or 3 days, and notice how you feel or how you are conversing with people in real life. I'm saying offline. Know you are in control and you can shut it off now. Chikobalu deal with it right now. And then after you've self-reflected and you know trauma duty and bentin, you trigger thin, and then you come back to engage from the point of self-awareness, hinchi will react. And it will not be exhausting because you are not responding with emotion, you're responding with logic and saying, because I really echo kunyin. But then emotional reaction, you are actually not seeing things as they happen. You are seeing things through a filter of trauma. So to tinga kang, to tinga kang, sometimes you are shocked why people are reacting to things the way they're reacting when you did not mean any harm or don't have bad intention. Just know adding trauma. They will work through it, but give them space and time to work through it. So, ayan kaka online you do trigger assess yung ina lo trigger. Chalo wini jala kwen kaka gender studies are kwan start getting mad at your partner even though he's not oppressing you. I'm sure he's not. You start already reacting to what might happen in your future here and how that's going to affect you. That is from either while you're growing up, you've witnessed abuse to other people, you can actually get traumatized. And you're traumatized to the point you insert yourself in a story of abusive relationship. Now, I think something that might suggest or look like abuse, kalas, kila riro, kila nam tip Wena bandita joga yung yendi. So when you're reacting, know where you're coming from. You might not be coming from the logic point of view, you're coming from the emotion. And the emotion, I logic say no shut down part of your brain. They shut down the logical part of your brain. So you need to find way to snap back from the emotion. And then I bend to the logic part of brain can you reflect. You will, oh, what was that? What was that? Now you are working on it, right? Kira community da, it's not easy to address because it's a collective. We all have the collective trauma. We all have the collective trauma of losing parents. Generation deal with the one that is before me have lost parents to the war in South Sudan. And we might feel that sense of injustice on how South Sudan is not, not benefiting us in any way when you actually lose your loved one to that country. And it's rational. It makes sense to be angry at those people. Like, oh, chiki. But one thing I find that yeah, in control is I usually think nobody owes me anything. Like Anjabar and Benachabar doesn't make me special. My trauma doesn't make me special. It makes me a human. Um, can my parent didn't do this for me? Most parents actually gave their children up for adoption. You're lucky your parents stayed with you, and they're still in communication. Can you? So the victim mentality, actually, popular. But you need to come back from that and actually believe you have control, some level of control in your life to change things and be self reliant. Bajati, people disappoint you every single time because they know you're desperate. And I total desperation, you go a thing in the bank. I graduated and the bank started charging me $17 a month because I need a bank account. I didn't have money for the minimum balance. People who make a lot of money don't pay bank fees. So desperation and low exploit is already built into the system. And human beings do that. And running kind desperate for their attention, they'll actually start treating you like trash. It's real. So yeah, so being grounded, bangi kito in your control, kichito in your control. What is reality? Kaklu in social media are not reality. Now I think lo kin you around on the ground, kulo hey ngadi. Nenki I think to know how is it? They will tell you exactly how it's happening as they see it, as they experience it. Like in Baloma social media, it has not helped me. I used to be that person. All these wars are happening. Abulo South Sudanese panda Chiria. That's why you are not doing anything with your life. Chiria Ukraine, Chiria Gaza, Chiria all over Congo. But I check any people while I pan Chiria, so I'm not gonna do anything with my life. No, they actually wake up every day and saying the fact that panda Chiria and I'm left alive, it is has to count for something, and I'm gonna do something with my life. So what how you interpret things any kwan or any helping. And I wish a lot of people can believe that they have control in their life. They are not victims of their circumstances. They just happen to be born into we're born thin and there's a way out. Once you're able to see the way out, you can actually follow it.
No, no, no. Alakir, that answer is very comprehensive. It's beyond comprehensive. And I see Betty got him in the comment section. She will say that again. That means I can love very very strong. I can I took trauma informed self awareness is very important, and all of us are affected, and we have to just sit back and know where triggers are coming from. How I have implemented a little bit this year, I can learn to slow down. You know, sometimes trauma you put on autopilot, but when there's so many things. But I think why you are even doing all those things. When I was doing my goal for this year, I only chose three. I won't do three things. I can be a liar when I'm about it. I don't know. And then my young would think, but then when I like life, I'm getting my life back. I realize I've just been fighting so hard because I've been responding from trauma because these kids all work hard. It's something that sometimes I realize it's come from place of trauma, of love, of deprivation, that we need to fight poverty. We need to fight, displacement, whatever. We need to go above and beyond and everywhere, right? And then we have been doing that. And then I was just sitting and I was speaking with my brother this morning, and he was like, when will we live life? Right? A reflection, my girl from her vacation, and she actually reflected and said good things about that. Chị giáo lên man, you know, chị giáo chọn quay on car ka koi ta mà cái gì nghe nghe chị chị vacation. Like I said, it melt my heart. I reflected on the goal of life, right? On car ka poita, and then do ka poita. And many people got a moite ku yin ka when me tin e pe and many people I mean yin che ni kar nong en ku mu ki chin so instead bi ka wan bi ba we yi te bi no ran tung lo ku ran tung dong chen ga mi bi mo we ka ko dor ke chin or ab dong ga because they cannot move very fast ab to even but somehow somewhere can evaluate that while we are here we are fortunate enough, right? So we kira ko ma on bakar kan en ka mu kan e kul wala la ba pira ba ben achi ja realized and she was reflect lo no ta ja char we kar yon ke de ja yende so now to trauma you just reflect but span Sudan achiria but you are alive, right? There is a reason you are alive. Jin can when a majority. There is a reason to uniform it, and you survive it, right? So that one now you empower. You bet you're a victim. You have succeeded, and you being alive. You don't have to be bogged down in blame again. Oh, kira, you are cheating at it. Oh, life is hard. Oh, kira. Do what you can with what you have. And this year I was okay. This year I'm grateful. I have worked so hard, but I think this is trauma. That work should not be like like there's no price in suffering. So at some point, just have to accept life. And someone actually put in the comment section, I will look at it later on. I well, part of self-awareness, being self-content, right? Being contented, right? Realizing that you are enough with what you have and who you are at that particular point. And it took me long until by the hour where we could do you take time for color for zero with your so yeah, know that okay, this year I need to slow down. Yeah, I assess myself, I assess my mental health, my physical health, my emotional health, my intellectual health, everywhere health. And I have now to choose selectively about what to do, how to do it, and the pace and speed ban and lower thing. Okay, part of self awareness, which is grounded in trauma response, right? Like precious story in getting. So I really appreciate you for that. In Alakiir, I really like it. Many people are liking U10. So maybe now your U10 message. Kaba jata buku show buku tia. So Lola Kiri, you have great ideas, very intelligent, which is true. So maybe 2 minutes for your U10 message and then buku show jata. And thank you so much, for was supporting this show and learn. Please share it so that others can learn from it. Take it away, Lucky.
Absolutely. You told message for sure. I'll just say nobody owe you anything. Che Mamadou, che Wanmut, che Wulan, che Kirmaya. And then when you start to detach yourself from that mentality of entitlement, oh, and that's why I'm not like this. I excuses. So really, I'm quite less fortunate than you. And you always need to reflect on that and see that you know opportunities. You just need to see them. Um, Self awareness is not it's a straight journey. And it could be not tip and your crazy will show. That's okay. That is okay. That's who you are, and that comes from the part of kiyo kudang will by content kubaya self acceptance. I talked about this lady that started by preaching and ke chenpyo. Chenpyo in English mean direct translation. Well, I don't have a heart. So in our language, when you're not a nice person, people tell you don't have a heart. And she started with saying, and chenpyo. She knows who she is. And she's using it to her benefit. So things that may not look so positive on the outside and you understand them from the inside can actually help you in life. So U-turn is nobody owes you anything. And once you detach that victim mentality, that relying on dependency, that entitlement, that I'm gonna work and that's why I'm gonna yell, you will start to be self-aware. Okay, now what is in my control? And given opportunities and challenges I have in this very moment. And then moving from there and guiding it from the within will take you further. Be in resilience. Actually, like I usually envy trees. Like team, I got it today. They nga between I call a well. Yoma before they're just there. They're not even fighting. They're just there, and they they stay longer. Like they seem very content. Where cheneka chom tin, acheke ka chom ruda chira nenga chom. The same thing. Parent chindi the chain a lot cake. A chindi and it just so happen a chindi. Um, thinking na chindi the coin and kang. It's not gonna happen. Deal with it. Inje the coin and kang. How are you gonna make sure your children actually chindi the running kang? That's where you need to focus. um, and the self-aware and being kind to yourself in a number one. By kind to yourself, accept yourself with the good and the bad. It's not easy. Ask for feedback. Teach matku when you are ready to hear the bad things about yourself. Teach what do you think is my strength or what do you think is my weakness when it comes to relationships? They will tell you, man, you're just supportive. You always by idea share up more in now you'll be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I thought I was supportive, but maybe there's a trauma there why you are reacting and not believing in your friends. You'll start to shift and say, oh, just because I believe it's not possible for me doesn't mean my friend is not capable of achieving that. Be very supportive and say, okay, what can I do to support you? Show up better in your relationship, whether nong midakajku or nong the society, lay into a how you gonna show up better. Um, use uncomfortable situation for growth. And in case dingo heritage, you might need to look into that. You don't dingo and what is the problem there? That's where you're gonna get the most growth. Where you are comfortable, I didn't like ane rani you pure it you it's me. And one of my family members like just pissed me off. Telephone tinga je yup ke rim ke ryokich. I had to sit down and actually reflect like "Okay, na jari yok pyo le ran kana," and figure out why my emotions are triggered so easily by these people and then work from there. Um, the practice that I learned recently is deciding who you are. So I know I'm a daughter. I have a mother, and that's never going to change. That's who I am. I know I'm a sister. I have sisters and brothers. That's who I am. It's not going to change. I'm a friend to a lot of people. That's who I am. I'm not going to abandon my friends. So grounding yourself in what is real and relationship is going to help you define who you are. And then in the morning, 10 minutes before you open your eyes, decide who you are going to be today. Decide who you're going to be. I a parent. You first take the 10 minutes before you open your phone, or Facebook or TikTok or whatever you do, your morning routine. Decide, today I'm going to be a kind, gentle parent to my children. Now, you already set the intention before being purged. Jomandu kia wiyot kulo nyana glun kulu emotion with triggered, you will not mind. You'll be like, they're just being a child. That's what children do. Today I'm a gentle parent and I'll tell them, yeah, please use your words and tell me what is wrong. You decide, you sleep and wake up and decide, today I'll be a loving partner. I'm not gonna quarrel, I'm not gonna get triggered, I'm not gonna talk in a sarcastic voice. I'm gonna be a good partner. And if they come and kaki and chika young and they're trying to trigger you a chan walk up your talk all day, you'll be like, not today, Satan. You will not trigger me. You will not make me react from a point of frustration. I will sit down and be logical with this person. Kulwel, man, you've been very irritated. Can you tell me exactly what the problem is so we can solve it? I will snap back. I will be like, oh, because they don't know they're instigating because I emotional. You'll decide what kind of friend you are going to be. Today, I'm going to be a supportive friend. So, throughout the day, think of your recent conversation with your friends and how you can show up for them. Are you a friend who knows? Maybe send them a link to a job application. If there's a career fair happening, send them a link to the career fair. If they share a goal with you and you know someone would be really great to help them get there, say, hey, do you want me to introduce you to so and so? That's how you show up as a good friend in the relationship. Today, I'm going to be a great employee. I'm not going to react to things. I recently learned about priority mapping. You will not react to emails. They will not take you out of your mood. You'll be in good mood. If an email come in and is emotionally triggering, I will let it sit for the next 30 minutes or however long I need to get what I'm doing to get it done. Your productivity will go up because you decide what to do. You control what to do every minute of the workday. So priority mapping matrix based on urgency and importance are being going to achieve something that day. So I'm saying intention will. Yeah, do 10 minutes meditating. You know, it's going to be a really rush day today. There might be a lot of things coming up. How do I want to show up? Very easy. And then you just keep reminding yourself during the day. Now, I run a visual, write in a paper, and stick it to your monitor. Well, today I'll be a good and happy employee. Nothing is going to trigger me. And it takes a few trials. Might drill cool down kalapit. So be kind to yourself. I tell a child already, but if God want me to speak, you guys are gonna listen. Okay?
Wow, Alakiir, I didn't know you are such a great preacher. The 2 minutes you tell, I had 10 minutes and people are loving it. Yeah, no, that is that I know around now he's keeping pure rat so we can jack on back jabu you pure away okay but say you tell like actually I have not done that practice because the Asian very much and you remember on glory on the Tana Berna that's how I wanted to show up and awesome. I want to be a awesome daughter, awesome put everything on my wall. But now I can be down there and I need to do that. As a mother, work a trigger every day, you are people looking at and neighbors are, walking in our apartment with other people. And then you want to back do things, so I have to remind myself to be gentle. So many people are like, oh my God, she can listen the whole night and they, but Abu Jati, so watch, uh, uh, your whole day. But your message of U10 has to be brief and short. So thank you so much, Alakiir, for being a great guest on self-awareness. And thank you so much. We're quite career can walk when go walk up to now. Money betting get him, knowledge away a slide ko ji ti win kor ke slide abal abiala kira abe joy accessible to the U10 so we can share it to you individually we ko win kor any ti thank you about you that PowerPoint and so next Saturday at this time the same time what Ben jam about technology for future which all fifth industrial revolution and we'll have a guest speaker who is a technology champion in based in Egypt, have worked in organization they're doing young people empower youth empowerment through technology, through software development and biotechnology equipment. So stay tuned and come back when you turn that day. For now, it's all about self-awareness. Kan chala kirgalo jakala implement and man tiana la man barara mind who I am, what my values is, and feel grounded again. And then waking up tomorrow and set my intention the first 10 minutes before banning anything low so that I have my day laid out and how to be a parent, how to be a spouse, how to be a daughter, how to be a friend, how to be an advocate, how to be a worker, and how to be whatever all the title that I have an auntie, and where you got and mail and you got and everything, and I have to show up in those spaces. Can not prepare how to. So thank you so much, Alakiir. God bless you for the U-turn. And see you next time. Bye bye for now. Okay.
Mm.